and welcome back to Battletech. Episode 2, the introduction continues. Alright, let's get this thing fired up and let's get going. 8 hours later, high orbit, Coromidere. Darius Oliveira. Easy there, Braden. You took a nasty crack to the head when you punched out. Don't worry, you're safe now. My name is Darius Oliveira, and I'm the XO of Markham's Marauders. We're a mercenary outfit with ties to House Arano. We did some work for High Lord Tamati way back when. I'd introduce you to Commander Markham, but he was on a supply run in the market district when the bombs fell. He didn't make it. You rescued me. Why? Seemed appropriate, given the circumstances. After seeing what happened to Markham, it didn't feel right to leave you in the hands of this new directorate. When we picked up your broadcast on the emergency band, we knew what we had to do. What about Mastiff? Sir Raju Montgomery, did you find him? We found his mech. It was completely cored out. Nobody survives a hit like that. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. We supported the Royal Guard on a handful of deployments, and Sir Raju earned my respect many times over. His death is a loss for us all. So what happens now? Well, things aren't looking so hot around here. With the coup and all that, House Espinosa's directorate is the new de facto government of the Oregon Reach. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but Lady Arano is dead. Her dropship was destroyed on takeoff. It's all over the news. What a waste. Our sentiments exactly. We're getting the hell out of Oregon territory. I've already booked transport on the first jump ship out. Oh, we're going to have to talk about jump ships. We're heading to a nice quiet stretch of independent space all the way out across the frontier, on the Canopian border. Not a cheap trip, but we'll worry about how you're going to pay for it later. As for you, well, you've got options. According to your bloodshit, you've got family in the Magistracy of Canopus. Like I said, we're heading that way if you want. I would look into booking you a transport on a freighter. Maybe we can get you the rest of the way home. And see, this is what I was talking about when I was saying that it's mostly flavor, ancestry, Magistracy of Canopus. The Magistracy isn't my home, never has been. My family moved to the Reach before I was born. In that case, you should stay with us for the long haul. When we get where we're going, we can drop you at the nearest planet. Maybe you can make a place for yourself. Of course, I'll need you to pitch in for your share of the fuel, plus food, lodging, and repairs on your mech. Fair is fair, after all. Alternately, you could find yourself a place in the Marauders if you wanted to. Wouldn't take you too long to work off your debt, and you ran with Mastiff, so I know you've got the chops. Think it over. Sleep on it. You've had a hell of a day, and we've got a long road ahead. Yeah, travel between star systems can take weeks in Battletech. 3 years later. What is with these names? Korean Rimward Frontier.
Command interface initiated.
IPL representative. The Independent Prospectors League thanks you for your assistance, Commander. We're miners, not soldiers. We can't fight these bastards off on our own. That's what you're paying us for. Don't worry, we'll get your platforms back. This isn't just about reclaiming what's ours. Majesty Metals killed hundreds of us when they tried to jump our claim. We want you to make them bleed for what they've done here. Commander, the OP4 is holding 2 IPL mining platforms. The first, designated Alpha, is where they're keeping their turret generator. Move in and take it out. Those turrets hit hard, so you'll want to neutralize them ASAP. Platform Bravo is the site of the OP4 security tower. Engage and destroy it. If they bring a mech to protect it, take that out too. Then circle on back and we'll collect our pay. That's right. I'm ready and waiting to authorize that transfer. Now go on, Commander. Hit those corporate pigs where it hurts. We'll be watching the action from here. Alright, so this is our first proper mission where we're in full control and bad things can happen and stick. Now, one of the things you might have noticed is that I am not driving my ancestral Blackjack. That's one of the things I modded out. I mean, after all, you know, the Blackjack overheated and I ejected, and clearly the director personnel would not have let me get it back. Well, whatever. Anyways, mostly just excuses to let me have my Griffin here instead of the Blackjack. So let's get started. And first of all, we have the first location with its turret generator that we probably want to take out so that this place will not have its turrets when we go in to crush it. So let's get going. So initially, since we have no contacts, I'm going to move everybody up pretty quick. Start trying to get moving on this target.
You betcha.
Now we have Glitch, Behemoth, and Dekker, who are the other three normal starting mech warriors. So let's take a look. Now the Spider is a much faster recon mech.
Confirmed.
So we're going to send him around to the right to see if we can't get eyes on the target. Give us a little heads up. You're trespassing on
Majesty Metals and Manufacturing property and acting in collusion with a domestic terrorist organization. Cease your advance immediately, or you will be fired upon.
Well, see, that's the beauty of being a mercenary. It doesn't really matter if somebody is a domestic terrorist or not. So long as you're getting paid, who cares? Because in the inner sphere, mercenary is actually a perfectly legitimate line of work, and one that actually has a lot of a whole lot of rules and etiquette that goes along with it. And most of that is assured by ComStar. Sensor locks are bad because when somebody gets a sensor lock on you, it takes away 2 of your evasion pips. But apparently none of these guys have LRMs, so they can't hit me with indirect fire. But yeah, ComStar. ComStar is, well, ComStar is a telephone company. Back when the, get the controls right. Back when the Inner Sphere was proceeding to start to tear itself apart after the destruction or the end of the Star League. Well, let's see here. Still no hard targets on anybody, so I can't do much except move up and brace. But back when the Star League was starting to tear itself apart, the person in charge of all the Star League's communication services sort of realized the direction that things were going, and rather than let everything completely fall apart, he decided to take the communication system and essentially privatize it. He created ComStar, a sort of private little enterprise that would control all the faster than light communications. And they are essentially what would happen if Comcast had no competition, a total monopoly, didn't have to respect any governments, and had its own military. ComStar is kind of crazy that way, but here we go, some indirect fire. I don't have a direct line of sight, but since somebody is scouting him out, I can fire my LRMs over the intervening terrain and hit him. And there we go, another sensor lock.
Warning. Enemy sensor lock detected.
But
I've been sensor locked.
a lot of sensor locks. And now, that kind of indirect fire does a little bit of sanding armor, but it mostly just takes a little bit of armor off every location, so it's usually not that bad. Although you can lose quite a bit of armor and take some serious instability from it. But anyways, ComStar. ComStar, with the de facto control over all of communications for the entirety of the Inner Sphere, had themselves in a pretty strong position. And they exploited it, to put it mildly. I'm trying to find a good spot to move Dekker so that I'll have some evasion, but also some cover. Because a lot of people wind up losing Dekker very early on in the campaign because they expose him and he just gets wasted. So we're going to try to avoid having Dekker get killed by instead just having him reserve his turn for later. That way we can take a little bit, we can have him move later. So yeah, ComStar, being in control of everybody's TV basically meant that ComStar, dang it, and we took every time you take a hit to the head, your pilot takes an injury. But having control of all the communications meant ComStar had access to pretty much everybody. And as a consequence, ComStar got a lot of power in the Inner Sphere. Not only did they control all of the communications, but their money essentially became sort of a de facto currency that everybody in the Inner Sphere uses, called C-bills. everybody has their own local money, but since ComStar is everywhere, you can pretty much always find somebody who'll take a C-bill. So no matter where you're at in the galaxy, you can trade in the local money for C-bills, travel to somewhere on the other side of the galaxy, and be fairly confident you're going to be able to spend all of your money regardless. So they provide sort of a banking feature in addition to communications. Now, you might have noticed that this shooting at the commando, the chance to hit on the PPC was much lower, and the reason is minimum range. PPCs, some of the light autocannons, and LRMs all have minimum range. A minimum range that if you get within that minimum range, it starts to seriously degrade your accuracy with the weapon. So that's where we're taking a shot at the Spider, who's technically farther away, but still somehow easier to hit.
Engaging target.
Ah.
No damage detected.
Dang it. So, yeah, ComStar branched off, and their entire goal was to try to preserve the communication system and also to preserve some of the knowledge, because the Secession Wars really did a number on modern civilization, destroying mech factories, jump ship factories, just dishwasher factories. Just in general, the Secession Wars were leveling everything. There was just, humanity was in serious danger of losing all their technological advancement. Ah, there we go. Took off his leg, so he just drops to the ground. So humanity was in real danger of losing all of its technological advancement, so ComStar was basically said, you know what, we'll preserve the communications, we'll preserve the technology, and whenever the successor states are done beating each other to death, we'll come back and we'll help everybody rebuild.
Standing by.
Well, as you might have imagined, that noble-ish purpose didn't last forever. Eventually, some of the groups in ComStar started to think, instead of, trying to preserve the technology and help everybody,
Copy that.
well, they would just wait until everybody had completely beaten each other to death, when everybody is completely reduced to the Stone Age, and then they would be able to just walk in and effectively take over using the advanced technology that they had preserved. And ComStar was not actually above helping to keep the Secession Wars going and actually trying to keep the playing field leveled. They didn't want anybody gaining too much power, because if they did, then, well, they may be able to reverse the decline of society. So they did not want anybody to gain too much power, and so in a lot of the Secession Wars, ComStar worked things behind the scenes to try to make sure that nobody gained the upper hand. The war continued on, the war ground everybody down, but nobody ever really got close to winning it. So we're going to take a called shot at the center torso. He's down on the ground and unmoving, so it's easier to hit. And if we can core that center torso, the mech's destroyed.
Confirmed.
And no. This early in the game, everybody's piloting skills are pretty low, so I'm not too surprised that Dekker missed.
Enemy sensor lock detected.
I've been sensor locked.
So, and coming back to, oh, ow, ow. The Spider has really no armor.
Armor breach. Internal damage.
So, one of the other things that ComStar does... Oh, this is going to suck. One of the other things that ComStar does is the Mercenary Review and Bonding Commission. Essentially, they don't necessarily run the mercenaries, but they provide kind of that neutral arbiter that determines whether or not
Reporting internal
that keeps
damage.
everybody on the level when they're doing mercenary work. So, for instance, if you need mercenaries, you would go to post essentially to the Bonding Commission and say, hey, I'm looking for mercenaries. And you just put it up on the mercenary bulletin board. Or you could go and you could ask to take a look at the list of mercenaries that are currently available for work. And you
Yes,
could
Commander.
find somebody and you could set up a contract with them to get some work done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move Dekker out of the way. He's taken 2 hits to the head, which means he's taken 2 injuries, which means the next injury he takes, he did. So we're going to get him out of here before he
Ordnance
dies.
received.
I don't want to lose somebody on my very first mission. So yeah, you would work with them MRBC to hire mercenaries, and if say a mercenary group backstabbed you, that would go on their record so that people could see that, oh yeah, these guys aren't terribly trustworthy. Or for instance, if somebody who had hired mercenaries didn't pay or didn't do what they were supposed to, it would also be available for mercenaries to see that, hey, you might not want to go work for this guy because he's not trustworthy. The whole point of it is to keep everything on the level so that being a mercenary remains a fairly respectable and common job in the Inner Sphere. You know what? We're just going to go stomp them.
Engaging physical attack.
And in general, because of the MRBC, everybody tends to play everything on the up and up when it comes to mercenaries. Because the mercenaries that you're hiring today may be somebody you're going to fight tomorrow. And doing something that would really piss them off might not be that smart. Same thing for mercenaries. You may find yourself working for somebody you were fighting against last week. So maybe you don't want to go full bore and start, you know, killing everybody you can get your hands on. So,
Commander.
it was one of those little things that kind of oddly actually kept everything a little bit more civil than it otherwise would. We're going to take a shot directly at the... Yeah, there we go. Shoot him. There we go. We're going to shoot the turret generator.
Locking on.
If you can destroy the turret generator, it will, in theory, shut the turrets down. Now, I say in theory because if there is one piece of information that the game doesn't really give you that you kind of need, is the fact what turret is powered by what turret generator.
Damage minimal.
This mission is not too bad. This one turret generator pretty much controls everything. But there are missions later on where there's going to be a lot of turrets and a lot of generators. And it is... You have no idea what turret is controlled by what turret generator, which essentially makes them pointless. You're better off just destroying the turrets. Now you can see I've been under direct fire by 4 turrets, and all they've really done... Oh, come on. All they've really done, aside from the head hit, has been sand some armor off. They haven't really accomplished much. We're going to keep Dekker moving because, yeah, I don't want him winding up dead. Alright. So we're just going to have him come down here and brace while everybody else does the heavy lifting. In fact, I can probably do this in one shot. We're just going to see if we can't take out the turret generator. We are going to just fire everything just in case. There we go. And all the turrets go offline.
Target building destroyed.
Alright, so with that done, now we can turn back around
I hear ya.
and head back for the rest of the mission.
Moving to position. I read you, Commander. Moving out.
And we're going to bring up Dekker just so he doesn't get too far away from everybody else. There we go. Alright, we got enemy contact. There's a Leopard dropship bringing in their backup.
Sensors have something.
Commander,
We'll send Dekker on up here. We have an unknown mech. Doesn't have a tonnage. And an unknown vehicle. Again, no tonnage. So, let's see what we got. Oh, it's a Shadowhawk, who is in not that bad a condition. Only one medium laser shot, though. That's odd, considering the autocannon and short-range missiles you should have. Alright, we're going to... Yeah, we're going to move up here. That'll get its eyes on the vehicle so we can see what it is and give us a clean shot at the Shadowhawk. Alright, it is a Scorpion, so not that dangerous. So we're just going to salvo everything that'll reach him. Ah. That was pitiful. The Vindicator is actually a very... Well, it's a very good mech in my opinion. It's very, very blah. It's very plain. With its PPC, medium laser, and LRM rack, it's just not very exciting. But What it is a solid battle mech that will do a lot of good work. And it's really, it's one of those, it's a workhorse mech. Come on! Ay, too high probability to hit shots with PPCs, and both of them missed. Oh, we got another vehicle. It's another Scorpion. Ooh. Ow. Alright, we
Fire damage, Commander.
better
Nothing
do
to
something
see
about
here.
those guys.
Good to go.
Alright, I'm going to move Behemoth down here.
Heading out.
Now her AC-5 is one of those weapons that has a minimum range. You can see the AC-5 and the LRM both have a 40% chance to hit the Scorpion, but it jumps up significantly when you get to the Shadowhawk. But we're going to take out the Scorpion because that autocannon and stuff is dangerous. We want to get rid of those ASAP, so blow him away.
Vehicle trashed.
Good to go.
And we're going to run Dekker up into cover to see if he can't. Well, we may be able to get some contribution out of him yet. Alright, here comes that Shadowhawk. Oh, they're keeping up on that Vindicator. The AI is actually fairly good about locating your weak link or your
That hit hard.
the target of choice, the one that it should be beating on, and going after it hard. So let's see here. We're gonna move just more or less sidestep. And we're gonna take out that guy. Just the PPC
Engaging target.
should be enough, or not. Eesh. Okay. Dang it. Now he's gonna get a shot in at somebody, maybe? Oh, taking a shot at the Shadowhawk from behind. They also love to take those rear shots, which
Waiting for orders.
thankfully didn't amount to much. You know what? We're going to have her go step on that Scorpion and get rid of it. She's really too close for her PPC and LRMs to be much use, so physical attack is a much better option. And small laser into the remains. Okay, you're excited. I get it. I get it. Alright, next up,
Receiving you.
Behemoth, who I'm just going to have back up a little bit.
Move order received.
Keep that AC-5 at a good range. And we'll drop that LRM out.
Aye, aye.
There we go. Ooh, head hit.
Reporting critical hit.
Alright,
Receiving you.
grab Dekker.
Location.
Ah, I messed this up. Yeah, this rock right here is that right there means the shot is partially obstructed by the rock. And as you can see, 70% chance to hit when that normally would probably be 80 or 90%. Let's take a look here. Yep, obstructed. +2 difficulty to hit based off the obstruction. So, regardless, we're still going to fire. 70% chance is pretty good. Both of them connect. Not a ton of damage, but every little bit helps. And physical attack? Is that what he's looking for? No. Oh. Dang it.
Bleeding, Commander.
Dang it. Another head hit. The big problem is that with them being injured, they're going to be down for quite some time. Once the mission is over, they're going to have to spend quite a bit of time in medbay healing up. And when you start off, you only have 5 pilots, and I've got 3 injured, so I'm probably not going to be able to get many people out fighting for quite a while. Yeah.
Commander.
Right now, we're trying to back everybody up to
Moving
keep
to
those
position.
the minimum range of those PPCs from being a problem. And get rid of the LRM.
Here we go.
There we go. Oh, good proper ammunition explosion. Ammo
That's
explosions
destroyed.
more or less destroy whichever section they were in, as well as doing feedback damage to injure the
Good to go.
pilot. Now we got jump jets on this spider, so we're going to jump big time. Boom. And we're going to open fire with the medium lasers. Oh,
One less structure.
beautiful.
Great job, Commander. Double back to our client's platform. The sooner we can collect our pay and break orbit, the better.
Alrighty, pretty simple mission.
Right, Commander.
Although somehow still managed to take
Position
1,
confirmed.
2, 4 pilot injuries in the process. Yeah, that's going to be causing a real problem because I think each injury is effectively 2 weeks recuperation. So it's
Commander?
going to take a little while to get it. Take a little while to get them healed.
Move order received.
Oh, also, battle mechs move farther along roads. So if you can find a way to get to a road, it'll get you around a lot quicker.
Coordinates received.
Alrighty.
Got
And
it.
it looks good.
Good to go.
And have Dekker run and catch up with
Affirmative.
everybody. The IPO. Brilliant work, Commander. We should have no trouble mopping up at the other platforms now that their defenses are down. We get the job done. Speaking of which, I wasn't finished. These platforms won't do us much good if we can't hold them. Majesty Metals taught us that, so we're going to need your battle mechs. You're going to want to reconsider that. Why? Your lance has already been target locked by our turrets. Now, power down and surrender, and we'll let you walk. Or try to fight, and we'll tear you to shreds. Your call. Well, there goes our payday. Hold tight, Commander. We're on our way.
More hostile.
Yeah, bad decisions. Poor decisions were made. Now, turrets are
Ready
not
for orders.
that dangerous in normal. Normally, turrets are not that dangerous. But
Copy that.
I've already got a lot of injured mech warriors here, so I don't need these things causing more injuries and potentially getting people killed. Dekker in particular is in a lot of danger of winding up dead if he takes another hit. Galleon. Okay, that's not too bad. He missed. And the way I positioned these mechs, it's almost like I might have known something was coming. Alright, so I'm going to multi-target. I'm going to target this turret, and then I'm going to target the galleon. What we're going to do is we're going to fire the PPC and the medium laser at the turret, and we're going to give the galleon the good news with the LRM-5.
Affirmative.
There we go. And follow that up with... Alrighty. Yeah, if you invest in the right skill points, you can get your mech warriors the ability to fire at multiple targets, which when you get into a situation where you're having to clean up a lot of these little guys like this, makes life much easier. Alright, we're just going to give everything to this turret, see if we can't get rid of it. I haven't really figured out exactly what's going on yet, but autocannons in particular seem to just annihilate turrets. So, and last but not least, Salamander is going to just stay where he is and polish off this turret.
All weapons committed.
There we go.
Target destroyed.
So we're down to 1, 2, 3 vehicles and a turret. Oh. Okay, no hits to the head. See, at this point, what's going to do Dekker in is going to be a hit to the head, and since each... Oh,
Battle mech down.
no! Dekker! Oh, man, the memes. Crap. And Dekker is dead on the very first mission, doing exactly what I was concerned about. A head hit. So, Dekker will be avenged. And here, these early game vehicles are pretty weak. And vehicles take double damage from melee attacks, which means that stomp does a massive amount of
Enemy
damage.
unit destroyed.
So he's gone. Let's see, there's another Scorpion. We've got another turret. Was there another vehicle? Yeah, there's another vehicle over there. Again?
Sorry, Commander. I'm hit.
Oh my gosh, this is
Waiting for orders.
about as bad as starts get for
Waiting
this game.
for orders.
Alright, just go stomp this dude.
Position confirmed.
There we go. Oof, this is going to be a rough start to this Let's Play if I've got all these injured pilots. We're more or less just going to have to sit on our dropship for a month waiting for people to get healed up. That'll make for exciting gameplay. Alright, here we go. I can't reach all the way to the vehicle, so we're just going to settle for killing the turret. And lock on, and everything looks good, so fire! Alright. Turret down,
Target
and
destroyed.
last but not least, that one lone striker over there. Jeez, buddy. Just drive through everything.
That got through my armor, Commander.
Alright, we're just going to have Glitch stomp it. Good riddance. Okay.
Move it down.
This is actually going to make things much more complicated. Stand by for extraction, Commander. Let's get the hell out of here. Oh, and Darius? I know, Meyer, I know. You want another team meeting. Give the man a prize.
Mission successful.
Successful after a manner of speaking. Yeah, this is actually going to make the game much more difficult with one dead pilot and then 3 injured pilots. Yeah, we're going to have to spend money to hire another dude. We're going to have to sit around and let everybody get healed up. Because if we don't, and we try to go into battle with them injured, they're just that much more likely to die. So we have to let these people get healed up. Head hits. Alright, all of our objectives were successful. And since these guys were dirty cheats, we get no money. Fantastic. And we got some damage to the Vindicator, but the Griffin and the Shadowhawk are good. Nice thing about these is if you just take some general roughing up of the armor from random hits, the game doesn't make you go down and spend a lot of money and time repairing them. They're just assumed to have been able to be touched up fairly easily. Major damage, though, still does require some time in the mech bay, and then the spider. Oh, Dekker. Killed in action. First mission. Brutal. Rent to own. In orbit. Urkuriner or something, what other. Sumier. You need to start finding better clients, Darius. I mean it. That would seem to be obvious. We've been slowing it on the ass into the frontier for 3 years now, and we are drowning in debt. I'm fully aware of our financial situation, Meyer, but I can't just conjure up new clients out of thin air. Braden, do me a solid and back me up on this. Yeah, there we go. Is this why y'all made me commander, so I could break up fights and review financial reports? Damn right it is. It isn't like any of us wanted the job. Well, hey, you know what? At least they're honest about it. Darius, could you walk us through the details of the trouble we're in? It might help to break things down point by point. Sure thing, gang. Point 1, Meyer's right. We're in debt. Every C-bill, well, there we go. Standard unit of galactic currency. We make technically belongs to the banks. Point 2, this corner of the frontier is a dead zone for mercenary work. There are clients, but they're terrible, and that's a fact. And that's it. There are no other points. Alright. What's our best case scenario? How many jobs will it take to repay the loans? Truthfully, I can't even say. We're in a pretty deep hole, and where I'm standing, I don't see a whole lot of daylight. The thing is, these banks, and I use that word loosely, they don't want us to pay off our loans. They'll do whatever they can to get away with, they'll do whatever they can to get away with to keep us on the hook. Hit us with fees, jack up our interest rates, misfile our paperwork. I'm trying to find us a way out of this, but it's going to take time. And every day that passes, we accumulate more debt. If we keep going on like we have been, we're screwed. Alright. Why not just refuse to pay? We can afford to throw our weight around. We've got Battletechs. That wouldn't be a very good idea, Braden. The banks wouldn't come for us themselves. They'd hire mercenaries. And you already know how hard up frontier mercs are for work. If we stiff the banks, we'll wind up dead or in a debtor's prison. And out here on the frontier, those are basically the same thing. Okay, so we're in a bad spot. What are we going to do about it? I don't see what else we can do. I'm already serving up every legitimate contract I can find. Unless you want me to sidestep the Mercenary Review Board. There we go. The Mercenary Review Board. Entirely, we're basically out of options. Go around the MRB? No thanks. Taking an uncertified job is a great way to wind up with a knife in your back. We just got betrayed. That's a good point. We just got betrayed by a board contract. Plenty. What happened down there was an exception, boss. With uncertified jobs, it's the rule. Remind me again why you don't just skip town and head to a nicer corner of the periphery? Because the banks and the jump ship crews have an arrangement. Until that we pay up, they're going to keep us on a short leash. That's a good reason. Look, Darius, Mayor's right. We need to start earning some real money, and we need to do it soon. It's only a matter of time before something breaks down and we can't fix that I can't fix with duct tape and good intentions. Yeah, let's use the flavor one. I'm no stranger to betrayal, Yang. I lost my family to someone I thought of as a friend. That doesn't change the fact that we need money. Yeah, boss, as much as I hate to say it, I agree with you. We need to sidestep the MRB. Guess I'd better get mentally prepared for a knife in the back, huh? Well, it's settled then. I'll start digging for contracts outside the system. Who knows? Maybe it'll work out for the best. It isn't like we've got much to lose. In the meantime, we need help to keep finding another job, and our prospects in this system have completely dried up. I'd recommend booking travel to a neighboring system and seeing what the review board has for us. With any luck, we'll find enough work to keep going until something better rolls in. The banks are holding our jump ship access hostage until we repay our debts. For now, we can only go between Ur-Kurene and the nearby systems of Alloway, Bellerophon, and Detroit. Our top priority now needs to be finding work so we can raise cash. Now the contracts here are good, and I picked out the only viable one I could find, and it included our travel fees as part of the deal. Come by the command center when you're ready to review it. Dekker has died. Okay, and here we go into the meat of the game. That is the end of the tutorial, and we are now free to do as we please. This right here is our dropship, a Leopard class dropship, and I'll get into what dropships and jump ships are about in the next episode, but for now, suffice it to say that this is our mobile base of operations. Like I said up here, 19 days. In 19 days, we're going to have these two people out who only took one injury, but they're still going to be out for 19 days. And Glitch is out for 26 days. And in 30 days, we're going to have a financial report. Because that's why everybody signed up to be a mercenary. Financial reports. Alright, over here we have the various parts of the ship that we can take a look at. Right now, we're going to go to the barracks. And take a look at our mech warriors. Like I said, we only have 4 people now. Medusa, who is a complete rookie. And then Salamander, Glitch, and Behemoth, who are all down for various periods of time. We of course have skill trees, and I'll get into that more probably next episode when we level some of these people up and we get ready to start doing work. In the mech bay, we can either talk to our engineer, or we can take a look at our battle mechs. You can see right here the Vindicator has taken some damage, so we're going to have them repair it. It's going to take 3 days and cost a little bit of money. And then the Spider took a significant beating. So in order to fix this kind of thing where we're missing entire sections of the battle mech, we have to refit it, which takes a lot more time and costs a lot more money. So we're going to have to replace this torso section and replace that arm. First thing we're going to do is we're going to shift some jump jets around. And then, since we have some free tonnage, since we're missing some jump jets, we're going to increase the armor that this thing has, because we're going to need it. Like I said, the Spider just does not have anything in the way of armor, and it does not help this little mech at all. In general, this game tends to emphasize short-range combat a lot, and as a consequence, mechs tend to take a lot of damage because they're in close, it's hard to miss, and they just tend to take a pounding. And if there's one thing that light mechs can't take, it's a pounding. So we're going to up the armor, try to give, well, whatever unfortunate soul gets stuck in here a little bit better chance of surviving. We're going to confirm. Now, since we're doing all this refitting, it's going to take 13 days to get fixed.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
So here we go. They're going to work on the Vindicator first, and then they're going to get to the Spider. So that's the basics of how this works, and there are various upgrades you can get to both increase the number of mechs you can have, decreasing the amount of time it takes to fix things, all of that jazz that you'd expect. And then we have the Command Center,
Make yourself comfortable.
where you can take a look at contracts. And contracts are, well, they're contracts. You've got your employer, the maximum payout, maximum salvage, maximum reputation. You cannot get all of these. If you want more salvage, you got to take less money. If you want more reputation, you got to take less of these. So there are trade-offs, but you can negotiate it. And since we have to go to a different world, it's going to take us 12 days to get there, which, believe it or not, actually works very much in our favor because we have a lot of injured mech warriors and we've got mechs that need to get fixed. And we could do all that on our trip to Belferon. But that's going to have to wait for the next episode because for now, this has been Bogatir playing Battletech. I'll catch you next time.